Hi Crafty Friends, it's Melissa Miner and I'm back with another Shimmerz Paints Design Team project. So I have the August 2024 Color Kitz on my desk and I've picked out these 4 papers that I want to use, and these are the pictures I want to scrapbook today. That's my son there in the blue shirt and his wife is standing next to him, and they are in Hawaii. This is from last summer. He went to Hawaii with his wife, his beautiful wife, that's Chloe, and her family. So her mom, her dad, her brother, and her sister. Look at these gorgeous photos. So these are so pretty. So I want to put all of these on this layout. So I'm going to go ahead and get these paper cut down and I'll be back. All right, I want to add some embellishments. So one thing that you can do is you can stamp using the Finesse waterproof dye ink. It's non-smear, it's for watercolor, it's black. So I'm picking out some stamps here from my stash, and I'm using this mixed media paper from Scrapbookcom, and that didn't stamp very well, but I'm just stamping some leaves here, and I'm going to color these up with my Shimmerz paints. So it's okay, the ones that I didn't stamp real well, I'll just set those to the side. So I'm going to start my painting, and I'm using one of the colors from the Color Kitz this month. I have the Jilted Jade Shimmers, and it has lots of shimmer in it. It already has water in it, so you don't have to add anything to it. And what I'm doing is I'm laying down some paint in the center of these leaves, and then I'm going to go back and dip my paintbrush in the water and just use the water to spread that color out. So it is so easy to stamp and color in your images. And then I'm going to fussy cut these. So you can see off to the left-hand side of my screen, I've already cut some stamped and colored up some flowers. And then I also stamped and colored in some leaves. But I wanted to show you the process on how you do these. So I'm just using a thinner type brush and then dragging that color out to the outside of the leaf. So I'm going to go ahead and color up all 3 of these on camera just so you can see the process. Now I did speed this up just a little bit, but they go pretty quick. And I love the shimmer and shine that are on these leaves. So that looks really pretty. I like the shimmer and shine on the flowers too. So there we go. And then I will go back in, like I said, and use my scissors and fussy cut these out. The flowers that I've painted there, I've used some of the colors from the Color Kitz. I used Tangy Tangerine and also the Trippin' in the Tropics. And then I used a couple of the dyes from my stash and cut out some leaves. So these are kind of the floral clusters that I want to build. Now these little flowers in the center, I fussy cut those out from one of the papers that came in the kit. All right, so this beautiful palm tree, well, it's not beautiful yet, but it's gonna be. This is in the Color Kit. So if you get the collection, you get this SVG cut file as well. So I'm bringing in some colors from my stash. I'm bringing in Spruce It Up Shimmers and Colorings No Yoking. And I want to add a little bit of a lighter green to the leaves on the palm tree. So you'll see here I did stick the cut file down to a light grip mat, and that's just so it allows me to hold this in place so that I can paint it. So I'm using this, and I also, when I cut this out, I did add, oh my goodness, what do you call it? I added an outline to it as well. So that's why I have multiple images. So you can customize your cut file however you like in Design Space. All right, so I have finished doing that one. Now I want to make this one. I'm going to end up layering this palm tree on the top. So I want to make this color even lighter because I don't want it all to be the same color. So I'm adding a little more of the No Yokings yellow paint to what I had there on my glass mat. And then that's going to give these leaves a little bit lighter color so that when I layer it, you'll be able to see that layering effect. So I'm even going in and adding just a little bit more of the No Yoking to make this more of a yellow type green. And you see how that just lightened it up? And so I love that. So there we go. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to color the tree trunks with some ink. So you see that? Aren't those pretty? I love that. All right, so I got out 2 Distress Oxide inks, and I'm using, let's see here, I'm using Vintage Photo, and I'm taking a natural sponge, and I'm just dragging it across. So I'm going back and forth in the same motion to kind of give like the bark strokes like you would see on a palm tree. And I got 2 of the colors out, so I also got out Ground Espresso. And I don't do it on camera because I thought I liked them, but then once I shut the camera off, I did go back in with the sponge and add a little bit of the Ground Espresso to both of the trunks of these palm trees. But I did the same method and going just back and forth with that sponge. And look at that. Don't you think that looks just like a tree? I was really happy with my trees. Okay, so here they are all finished, and I went ahead and put some thin 1/8 inch strip foam tape on the back, and I'm going to layer it. And then I also cut this layering piece, and I'm not sure if I want to use that white, so I'm going to set it to the side and think about it for a while. So here I have the base of what I want to do. So I cut out some of the pattern paper in just 6-inch blocks, and then I glued them to a piece of white cardstock. And then I cut the little blue shell paper to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then I also matted my photo on a piece of white cardstock 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So here I'm just dry fitting some pieces. Now this isn't the final version. I'm gonna mess around with this off camera and just figure how I want these clusters. But I'm pretty sure that I want the surfboard, and I know I want a tag, and I want some of these leaves. Now I want to add a little extra interest to this leaf, and I cut this out from a die that I had, and I think it kind of looks like a palm branch. So that's why I use this die. And I'm adding a little bit of rustic wilderness to the sides, and then I'm just going to crinkle up the leaf a little bit. So off camera, I did go ahead and get that glued down, and I added a little bit of ribbon there to the tag. And here, this piece that I'm gluing down, that is one of the ephemera pieces that came in the kit. And I cut the border off, the white border. And then here I'm placing the little dot that came in the kit as well. I'm placing it down here. I do end up moving it, and I will replace it with the one that is a flower. But for now, I think this is where I want it to go. And so I'm going to stick it down, and we're going to start on our second page. So I'm making a double page layout today. And so I actually did the same method of using the 6-inch blocks of paper, and I put those on this side, and I just changed up the order in which the papers are. But I made sure to keep one of the tangerine colors, or not to put the tangerine colors next to each other on the same page. And so I'm gluing down my photos here. You can see that upper right hand photo, they were getting ready to go ziplining, so that's really cool. And then, like I said, that bottom left, that's my son Logan, my oldest boy, and his wife Chloe. Now they live in Utah, but they went on this trip last year to Hawaii and just had an amazing time. In fact, they said that they went to a luau where they had smoked a pig, and the entertainment was just top notch, like flames, you know, like where they twirl the baton of flames, and it was just really neat. So I'm excited to make these into a book for them. So I'm using some of the pieces that came with the ephemera pack, and I cut the circle. I used a circle die to cut out what I had left of that blue shell paper. I would have liked to made it a little bit larger, but that was all I had left. And I'm adding one of the palm tree pieces of ephemera and the little waves. And then I'm going to build a cluster up here where I have these little blue pieces of paper sticking out. I'm going to build an embellishment cluster in the upper left, and then also one in the lower right. So these are the clusters that I had already painted up. And when I painted up those flowers, I mixed the colors of Trippin' in the Tropics and also the Tangy Tangerine to just give them different colors. So I just use different color combinations of those two, different strengths of those two colors to make the leaves a little different, or the flowers, so they just weren't all the same. So I'm using some foam tape and getting these all down. That little pink flower up there was from the ephemera. And then these are the leaves that I painted with the Jilted Jade. And then one of these right here, this is from my die cut. So I'm just going to finish making these clusters over here. And I do change them up just a little bit from what I show on camera. It never fails. I shut off the camera and I'm like, oh, I want to add this, or oh, I want to move this. So I apologize for that. But in the end, I will show you the final layout. I'm just going to flip here through some of the embellishments that I have in my stack and sort tray. And I really like this little piece. It kind of reminds me of like a washi tape. And it's got some florals on it. So I stuck that up there, and that does remain there. And then I'm trying to decide if I want the sun there. You can see my fingers tapping. I'm really thinking hard. I want to see if I want to put the sun there, and it does end up there. And I think that that just brings a little more color to my center cluster here. So the only thing that's popped up in that center cluster are the waves. So again, I'm still flipping through here and trying to find what I can add to this layout. And here I have this little, let's see, this is a shell. And then I will end up finding a toucan. Here it is, the toucan. I love that little bird. And I think that that finishes off that cluster so nicely. That is super cute. So I love that. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to add a few more leaves. They're just not working out. And there we go. This is the finished layout here. You can see here I added the little tangerine dot of the palm trees in the center. And now I'm going to finish this off by adding a few of these flat back pearls from Buttons Galore and More to the layout. Now remember, when you place an order on the Shimmerz Paints website, if you add my name, Melissa Miner, to the comments section, like where it says leave a note on your order, Shimmerz will send you a free gift. And usually it's a little pot of paint. So it's a great way to get a little freebie and add to your collection. So that's going to finish off the layout. Let me bring in the first page here, and you can see I changed this little cluster around. I added another floral, and yeah. So thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new, I hope you will subscribe and come back. I will have links to the Shimmerz Paints website down below in the description box. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. Bye.